do in this final round of World Cup qualifying. They get a bizarre goal. You know we're going to break that down. Milan Borjan, there was no way he was going to go a game without coming up with a brilliant save. And then Jonathan David getting goal number 20. No sooner are we celebrating Kyle Larin with his 23rd goal to lead the Canadian men. How about Jonathan David hot on his heels here as we welcome you to Matchday Live. It's Andy Petrillo, Oliver Platt, Christian Jack. This was a tough one as I come full circle on that narrative, Ollie, because we had just said we don't know what to expect in this game with the internal politics with El Salvador and saying they weren't going to play and then they do. A very chippy affair as well. Canada emotionally exhausted given the victories against Honduras and the United States. So what do you make of this one in the end?
Yeah, I really can't speak highly enough of not just this game, but the entire window and the way this Canadian team has approached it as we see them get in that huddle now. And I think this will be an emotional one for them because the level of commitment and effort and application that has been shown by this team over the past week has been next level. You know, you go through the team. Jonathan David has played all 3 games. He's played 80 minutes in each of them or more. Eustachio didn't have to show up. He could have stayed in Portugal. He comes to San Salvador to play this game. Atiba Hutchinson, magnificent again. You know, the MLS players are out of season. You're away from home in 2 games in 2 difficult places, Honduras and El Salvador. There's so much to admire about the way they've approached these 3 games with absolutely no excuses whatsoever when there were so many for them to reach to. And they've got 9 points out of 9. Like, it's an extraordinary week for this team.
Yeah, resilient. You know, they're a resilient group, there's no doubt about it. And they're a group that is always looking for pressure and walking towards pressure and not backing away from pressure. That's another thing that sticks with me. You know, their game management, that could easily have been a 0-0 game today. We're going to get into the reasons why in a second, and the comical, to be frank, certainly with the 1-0 goal. But that's the key, is they always find ways to stay in games. Stay in games. Know when things are not going you well. And 0-0, it could have been easy. It could have been a little bit different for them at half-time to just think, this is tough. But no, they went at the substitutions at the right time. The game plan was at the right time. Larin led, you know, we're going to get to Atiba's goal in a second, but Larin led the charge with that. The right players made a difference in the second half. And you earn the right to get the most out of the result, and that's what they did. And they find ways to win time and time again, different ways. And this is a very, very unique one, no doubt about it, based on the 1-0 goal.
Well, you have to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. That's the saying in sport. And what is this? This is good. This is lucky. This is absolutely crazy, Ollie, when you just take a look here, because you know Kyle Larin runs with it. And then we're thinking, I don't know if this is actually going to go in. He's got to get the cross in somehow, but not in the way we thought.
Okay, you know, obviously this goal is absolutely bizarre. What happens here, you know, Zavaleta just kind of ricochets off him after it's ricocheted off the post, and it goes in off the back of Atiba Hutchinson's head. It's a goal I've never seen a goal like this before. It's absolutely bizarre. But I want us to play when we can. I want us to play the full move, the full replay of this goal again, because I want you to watch Atiba Hutchinson. It's 100% humidity or thereabouts, or close to it out there. Atiba Hutchinson turns 39 years old next week, and he's gone from about 10 yards out of his own penalty area there, and he's just made that run, and he's kept going, and he's kept going.
Play it again.
Oh, yeah, we should see this again. Yeah.
And then he face plants, but it's okay.
He face plants, but it's okay. And then
but you've got to make that run to get there.
Absolutely. Just watch him here. He's just in midfield there, just behind the play, catches up to Kyle Larin, and then he takes a little breather here. He's not sure Larin's going to make it. Then he sees he does, and he's gone again. And he takes a gamble, right? You don't know you're going to get anything out of that situation. In the 66th minute, I think it was, in San Salvador, again with that heat, with the window you've had, the age he is at, the stage of his career he's at. What an incredible player.
Yeah, I think as usual you're bang on, and we can talk about the freakness of the goal and how I've never seen a goal like that in 25 years of covering the sport. But let's talk about Atiba Hutchinson, because I'm aware we have new viewers all the time falling in love with this team and this sport. And let me tell you, Atiba Hutchinson is not one of the greatest athletes in this country, as he is. No doubt about that. He is in the discussion as being one of the greatest athletes this country has ever produced. A phenomenal human being, a wonderful leader, a man who thought years ago that his international career would be over, never thought in the right mind he'd have a chance to try and get to a World Cup, and now is performing at the highest level level in FIFA World Cup qualifiers, and as you allude to, turns 39 next week. And if things go well for him, and we'll all cross our fingers, he will be playing in a FIFA World Cup for Canada and will be the second eldest outfield player ever to appear in a FIFA World Cup, going back to 1930, with Roger Miller being the only one above him from Cameroon. That's an unbelievable achievement, and we can just hope that he stays healthy and he sees it through. But this is a man, by the way, that won the double in Turkey, lifting trophies for Besiktas this year, playing significant minutes. There is no other footballer like him right now on the planet. You do not have midfielders running games at 38, nearly 39 years old. So that is the way to look at this, but that is a truly ridiculous goal. We always say Canada are going to give you chances to score. Not like that. What would the XG be on that goal, by the way?
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. 0.001 or something along those lines.
Well, they said before about Atiba, right? A famous Canadian not famous in Canada, and that definitely seems to be changing. I do want to say, I feel bad. I'm always going to feel bad for the goalkeeper, you know this, but it brought back memories of that game in Haiti, right?
Hang on, you do not feel bad for the goalkeeper.
I always do. You know, listen, if you're a goalie hugger to the court.
I think the goalie puts it in. He's like this, and then
Okay, but this is my point. You look back to that Haiti game, and not that I want to bring back bad memories for Duverger, right? But he wasn't supposed to be the starter that night, right? The starting goaltender at that point, goalkeeper, as I switch to hockey here, goalkeeper ends up having COVID. He has to come out. Duverger has to go in, has some great saves, and then lets in that miserable goal that went viral. Carabantes was not supposed to start tonight. You know, Hernandez is the starting goalkeeper who gets injured in warm-up. Carabantes had a fantastic save against David. He had another fantastic save against Eustachio. We're not going to remember that, Ollie.
He doesn't cover himself in glory there, does he, Andy?
He just got lobbed by a header from 1 yard out. I'm just going to say it.
I know.
We can throw him under the bus on this occasion.
Let's go the other way, because this is a goalkeeper we're once again just going to give a round of applause to. And, of course, that's Milan Borjan, who gets our all-state save of the match. This is in the 93rd minute, KJ. And, again, he saves it. He saves the full 3 points.
Yeah, I had Naeem versus David Seaman flashbacks for all you Arsenal fans out there. You know exactly what I mean by that one. He definitely means it. And I think he gets surprised by it a little bit. But as you alluded to, there's a familiar theme developing with this Canadian team. They scored right near before the whistle again, just like the United States game. And then Milan Borjan coming up with big saves in that moment. So it's a save he should make, but at the same time, it's a really good one. And one that, as I said, that he recognised at an early enough time to be able to put it over.
Yeah, easy to lose your focus at that stage of the game, right? 2-0 up and that late on. And you know, that's testament to Milan Borjan. And, you know, one thing you notice with Borjan as well is the footwork is always strong. He's never kind of scrambling or, you know, looking a bit clumsy or overzealous out there. He's always calm and reading situations well, and that was an example of it.
Oh, there's no fluke with those saves. It's spatial awareness. It's knowing where to stand. It's knowing where to push off and where to be. But here's the thing, and I mean, like I said, that preserves 3 points because he makes that big save, and then Jonathan David goes, thank you very much. I'm going to provide you with a wee bit of a cushion, which is something else that we also saw in that Honduras game when Canada was up 1-0. Borjan came up with a big save. Jonathan David decided to go and get a nice little cushion as well.
Yeah, I know we're in February, but he's the undisputed king of the January World Cup window, is he not? Because what a window he has had. He scored an amazing goal last week in Honduras, put a shift in and a half and was marvellous in Hamilton, and then puts the cherry on the top right there. That is a fantastic goal. One-on-one, he's just an absolute one-on-one killer in these positions. He reads the game so well. At that point, we can all say they're going for the one. We know they're going for the goal, and it's a chance to do that. But as I said before, time and time again, he slows it down in crucial times. Look how he slows it down in his mind to read the ability to chip the goalkeeper at that point, to scoop the ball at those crucial times, understand, take a look left and right, and understanding, again, another quick look, and then wait, and then go. He almost waits for the goalie to go on his knees before releasing the ball, and this is, this is why he is seen as one of the biggest players in Europe right now for teams who can go out there, because he can score goals like this. And it doesn't matter what club you are, Ollie, you're looking at hoping to get a player like that. Yeah,
you've covered this very well over the past week, so I won't add too much to that. But his ability, just when he gets within sight of goal, through on goal, is something special. Again, as KJ said, the way he slows the game down, the way he's able to, find the right finish, the right technique to put the ball in the back of the net is incredible. He's been Canada's best player in this window when they needed him to be. And I also say I think John Herdman deserves a lot of credit tonight for the substitutions he made, because he made that triple sub quite early in the second half. I didn't think Canada started the second half well. They looked off the pace, a bit tired by that point. So what did he do? He gets on his guys who can go the other way and bring that counter-attacking threat very, very quickly with Laren, Buchanan and David. And we see the team that we've seen against the States and against Honduras that can hurt you in such a direct way.
We know now in professional sports there's no such things as starters and subs.
Yeah.
You know, John Herdman may call them starters and finishers. Other coaches in different levels that I've listened to have different roles. They're all about roles and responsibilities. You know, they will know that they're coming on in those situations. Tajon Buchanan, go give us half an hour. Alistair Johnson, go give us half an hour. We know what kind of game will be like at that point. El Salvador poured everything and more out in that first half. You know, they gave everything and more they could. Canada's fitness is far exceptional over most teams in Concacaf anyway. Use that to your advantage. It doesn't matter when you win the game as long as you win the game. And they find ways again to come alive in the second half and do that. And the thing about David, the other thing I'll say quickly is, again, the new audiences is falling in love with this team as we go along. What Alphonso Davies has in his charismatic nature, both on and off the pitch, David has it on the pitch now as well. He's got that swagger with his celebration, and he's coming out of his shell more. He's becoming more of a personality in the dressing room. We hear that from the players. And why wouldn't you have swagger when you can score goals like that?
He has to be moving in the summer.
Oh, yeah,
Gareth is trying to get him to Manchester United. He's trying hard. He's lobbying hard.
Try.
He's trying. But you have to know Jonathan David will be on the move this summer. There is John Herdman making those subs at the right time as this team gets the full 9 points in this window and also remain undefeated. Ian Hume will be joining us next.
Providing competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's sportsbook.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
A meter and a half of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything, and it's what inspires us at Toyota. Because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Full-time stats brought to you by Toyota. The Canadians getting both their goals in that second half. In fact, Jonathan David once again getting it in stoppage time as Sam Adekubi did on Sunday. So they preserve the victory. They preserve the undefeated streak. They preserve top spot in the Concacaf standings here in their quest for Qatar. As we welcome you back to Match Day Live. Ian Hume joining the broadcast once again. Hume, you already know what's gone viral. It's your buddy Atiba Hutchinson getting the goal. The foot, the butt, the head into the... I don't even know how that one happened. When you put that with most bizarre goals you've seen in your long, illustrious career, where does that rank?
It's right up there. I think the only thing as bizarre as that as I can remember is, KJ will remember it, I think it's Chris Brass played for, was it Berry? And he went to clear it and smashed himself in the face and it went in the top corner. It was an own goal. Other than that, I can't remember anything like that. Like it's ridiculous. And hey, he's clinical. Like that's the thing. He's always been like that. But echoing what Ollie was saying before, the desire to get in the box for somebody who's 39 in 6 days, that's ridiculous. And in the heat, the guy's just a phenom, and I think he is a national treasure. And I say this, it's easy for me to say it because I've known him since we were so young, but the guy's just incredible. To have played with him for as long as I did and to see him doing that still, it's crazy.
Humi, a lot of really good performances tonight and in this window, but any argument from you that Jonathan David's the best player in January for Canada and maybe all of Concacaf?
The guy's... I replied to KJ's tweet before, the guy's just special. That's all I could put. And funny thing is that you just showed the highlight of his goal there, and neither one of you commented on his first touch. The awareness of where the defender's going and his first touch on his thigh to go around him is just crazy. Like that's on par with his first touch for his goal against Honduras, to be honest with you. But again, same scenario, he gets into the position and he just calms himself down. Like he is literally cool as ice. He just has no problem with two defenders chasing him down, goalkeeper in front of him, but no problem, I'll just scoop you. He's another one. He's, 27 games, 20 goals. He's just behind Kyle Earn, who's just broke D-Row's record. I don't think it's going to be long before he's right next to Kyle, and they're going to be chasing each other for the next couple of years, and it's going to be a joy to watch, and he's had an incredible window, and long may it continue into March.
We're in unprecedented times in Canadian men's soccer, but you know what else is unprecedented is this guy's going to go for massive money in the summer with all the big clubs circling around him right now, and he never ever lets it interfere in any of his play, and he's not bothered by it whatsoever because of the nature he's at. Maybe you can just break that down for us as a goal scorer when you've got all those clubs, and you've had it in your career, many clubs looking out for you. Can that be a distraction sometimes? And also, when you leave an international window like this, how can you move that forward and fly for your clubs? Because he has done that in the past. I remember he left Edmonton and then within 72 hours was scoring 2 goals against Monaco pretty quickly afterwards.
Yeah, I think the best part about him in his career thus far, apart from what he's done for Canada, is when he left Belgium, he could have gone to bigger and better. Let's be honest. He could have moved to bigger clubs than Lille, and that's no disrespect to Lille. But he understands the process of growing into a player that you want to be rather than the player, like down the line, rather than being a player, oh, well, I want to be Ibrahimovic. You know what I mean? I don't want to go to being the superstardom right away. He understands that he has to go through this process. He's gone to Lille, they go and win the league. Like, that was unprecedented. He had an incredible season. He's had an incredible season thus far. He knows the pathway he wants to go on, and he's taken the right steps for me. I think he's developing his game, not just month to month and year to year, it's week to week. And every time he comes in for Canada, he produces the goods. And to be honest, in the summer, when he does move to a bigger club, it's going to be for ridiculous money. And it's going to be warranted because he's earned it. He's earned the right. He's done the grit and determination in those so-called lower leagues, and he's produced the goods with the goals. Now, goes on to a bigger, then the challenge starts again. So he's gone from Belgium, big challenge for him, coming from Canada, passed it with flying colours. Moves to France, passing it with flying colours. Next step's going to be a lot bigger. It's going to be a lot harder to pass, but I'm sure with his mindset and the way he goes about it, and we watch him all the time, he'll pass that with flying colours as well.
Humi, safe to say these last 2 windows, I think this is when the Canadian team has really turned the heads of the nation, right? A lot of people jumping on board now between November and then even this window right here. Which has been the most impressive for you when you look at those 2?
It's a tough one because beating Mexico is beating Mexico. Like, that's something, hence the reason why I shed a tear after the game, because it's something that's never done. But this window's been incredible. You have to get over the line. And going up against the US was a tough game. Honduras away, it's a ridiculously tough game, I can tell you that for nothing. And going to El Salvador, getting 3 points again, 9 points out of 3 games. This has by far got to be the biggest one because you're closer to the line. Bring on March, 3 tough games again, but literally got a toe over the line. They just have to get the foot over.
Let's get to the serious stuff now, mate. What's the weirdest goal you've ever scored in your career?
Very similar to Chris Brass, but the goalkeeper smashing it off my face.
Not you, I hope.
But that was just in youth soccer. That was it's crazy because I never really scored any ridiculously fluky goals. But in youth soccer, closing down a goalkeeper and he smashed it off my face and it goes in. So it does happen. But one thing with Atiba, he's always been ridiculed by his sister for the size of his head. So I actually came back to help him today, and Toya will be laughing her head off about that.
Oh, head. I was about to make fun of the size of your head, Hughie, but we love you over here.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, I don't know where the goalkeeper was going to kick it. Hey, you got the goal there, and what a great win for Canada. Hughie, always a pleasure having you on. That is Ian Hume, former Canadian national team player. Canada wins this one 2-0 over El Salvador. Stay with us here on Matchday Live.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, bang!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're label-less and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
1.5 meters of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything, and it's what inspires us at Toyota. Because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
Rev TV, your motorsports and automotive destination, is now on free preview all February. Watch live races from around the world and right here at home, from 2 wheels to 4 and so much more. Rev TV is your source for motorsports. Rev TV features exclusive race series, up-to-date news coverage, documentaries, how-to programs, and adrenaline-filled lifestyle programs 24/7. Go green with Rev TV. Contact your TV provider to order.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
All the teams in action tonight. Costa Rica defeating Jamaica 1-0. So Costa Rica making things very interesting there for Panama. The United States, they defeat Honduras 3-0. Mexico, Panama, they're in the second half. Sounds like Mexico actually had a goal disallowed. But that's a big one as well. I mean, I think Canada's in a really good position here, for crying out loud. They still maintain their 4-point. Yeah, right, I think. And the magic number, everyone kept saying it. Each and every one of you to a man said 24 points, right? That was the magic number, and you're pretty much guaranteed to book your ticket to the World Cup. Well, Canada's already at 25 with another window to go. But, I mean, if you are the Canadians, what kind of result are you hoping for with that Mexico-Panama game?
The great thing is, Andy, that nobody needs to care. That's the answer, and nobody needs to care. That's what's wonderful. You don't need to scoreboard watch anymore, Canada, because you're taking care of it yourself. A great result for Costa Rica. I thought for some time that they could get ahead of Panama and get above that line into fourth. That fourth-place team against the playoff against a team from Oceania has suddenly motivated teams a little bit more, I think, in all of this. But just to put this all in perspective, winning in Concacaf is tough. And since this round has been produced and this extended league table in the final round of World Cup qualifying, it's been going on since 1997 to qualify for the 1998 World Cup. So this is how long it's been going on now. And no team in that process has ever won 6 in a row until tonight. Canada. No Mexico team, no US. Costa Rica were brilliant to get to a couple of World Cups. None of them have won 6 in a row ever in this CONCACAF final round, and Canada did that tonight.
Yeah, it's a really interesting set of results tonight, actually, because Costa Rica, that, going away to Jamaica is not easy. That's a big win for them. And if that stays like that in Mexico, one, it brings Costa Rica, Mexico, and Panama all into kind of the same race for 3rd and 4th. And secondly, I don't know if Tata Martino survives that. And then you have potentially a coaching change going into the last window of the qualifiers, which is always a massive risk, but maybe something we see now.
What becomes the goal for Canada then in that March window? And yes, I know until you get that X next to your name, then I know John Herdman won't exactly feel comfortable. But we know that they made a huge jump. I believe it was 32 spots in the year 2021, to the point where FIFA awarded them, best improved side. So they got that award for now being ranked 40th. Is that what it's about? Herdman has made comments about being 20th, 30th in the world. Is that now the goal?
Well, the goalposts will keep moving in terms of the missions and the deep purpose of the squad, right? Whatever it takes to keep them motivated. And by the way, it will be authentic. Nothing's going to be fabricated here. It's going to be real. There's going to be real life goals of what they can do. Remain undefeated, try and stay top of the table. Obviously qualify as early as possible. They're the goals for the next round. Go to Costa Rica, get it done there. Come back, have a party at home to Jamaica, and qualify for the World Cup. And then the 14th game and the final one will take care of itself. But the rankings is fascinating. You alluded to it. They started this round of games 40th in the world. I now know they'll go up to probably about 33, depending on the results of the African Cup of Nations semi-finals, which are going on currently as well. Egypt and Cameroon in particular, keep an eye on them. And there's a genuine chance they can try and get into pot 3 for the FIFA World Cup. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's a lot of different moving parts. But what that means is...
what does that mean?
Basically, what that means is that FIFA takes there'll be 30 teams who have qualified in the draw. The 2 playoff teams go into pot 4. And as the 30 teams go, the best 8 go into pot 1, seeded with Qatar, obviously one of them. The next 8 go in pot 2. Subsequently, the next 8 go in pot 3, and then the last 6 teams go in pot 4. So just by design, if you're classed as one of the worst 6 teams, you're going to get a harder draw, depending on pot 2 and pot 1. So there's another desire there and another push to continue to get ranking points as you win games, to get higher up into the rankings.
Yeah, and it matters, because Canada should not be going to this World Cup just to be tourists, right? We're happy to be there, we're going to have a nice time and play 3 games and then we'll go home. We've seen what Mexico and Costa Rica and the United States have been able to do at this tournament. They've, achieved above expectations at times, especially Costa Rica, obviously. And Canada should go there with absolutely having the same intent. As KJ just said, this isn't just a team that's going to qualify. They're going to qualify with one of the most impressive qualification records we've ever seen in this region. So if you're not thinking about the knockout stage, then you're not thinking big enough at this stage with this team.
Well, and that's just the thing. I think every time we've come up with these big type of conversations, we always just dip the toe in the water, right? Is Canada actually going to qualify? Can they actually go undefeated? Are we actually talking about pot 3? And then I remember we were having discussions about, do we think if they qualify, will they score a goal? But dare we dip our toe again and say, could they win a game at the World Cup?
Oh, of course. Absolutely they could, yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is if they get into pot 3, automatically you're getting a team that you expect to beat. And dare we say they get Qatar, because Qatar are seeded in the pot 1, so they could actually get them in the group. I mean, we're all putting a lot of things ahead here, but I think we can comfortably say now, I'm willing to say it, Canada has never scored a goal in the World Cup. I'm very respectful of the history. Humi's part of that. There's some wonderful legends that have played this game before, but we are going into uncharted territory. Canada, I believe, are going to score a goal at the World Cup, and that's something to be celebrated.
But that's not even a hot take.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like it's a hot take,
That's what I'm saying. This is where we're at now, right? It's going to be success and more. And as Ollie said, it will be about shifting the goalpost again, and the purpose and the deep purpose will be to go there, make the knockout stages. The World Cup, you can go on and progress. It's a different kind of mindset, though, than this. It's cup football. It's cup football. That first game, whoever you get, is always very, very nervous and very, very tense, and quite depending on who you're playing. Second game comes very quickly. Then before you know it, you're into the third. It's a different, complete mindset than it is now. But I think what we know from Canada, we've seen all of this, is the resilient group. They'll be very prepared for it, and they'll be ready.
Yeah, they'll have every chance, right? I think we've seen through this process that, they go into every game prepared, having done all the homework they can, can. And, you know, one thing I've said a few times during these qualifiers is when you have that level of preparation, it gives you a certain calmness, I think, that, you know, you're going to go out, you're going to play to the best of your ability. You're not going to leave anything on the pitch in terms of regrets. And then you see what the outcome is from there, right? And that allows you to really perform, I think, with a clear head.
I still have. It's the exploding brain emoji that's happening right now. So you have to go back to 1985. It's on home soil, St. John's. We showed this actually in Edmonton when we were talking about Canada and qualifying for the World Cup. This was the last time. I don't even know. I mean, HD wasn't a thing. 4K, forget about that.
I wasn't a thing.
Ollie wasn't a thing.
Ollie wasn't even a thing. He was a twinkle in his parents' eye. This was still rabbit ears on your TV. I mean, this is a special moment, and I can only imagine even what some of these players are thinking watching this team too.
Yeah, for sure. You do start to think about the history a bit more, but it's been such a long time, right? You know, for a lot of us, a lot of people won't remember that. A lot of people won't have been alive for that, and so it's something that, you know, it kind of feels like a first, right? Not wanting to disrespect anything that's gone in the past and the achievement of that team, which was obviously something special, but it does feel like something new for this team and this country.
I just hope all of those who've stuck with this team for so long can actually now believe, because I know that I've been a fan, and I am a fan of a couple of teams that took a long time to win, and until you get that final out in a baseball game, or until you finally secure that final point, or until you get that goal or that crucial touchdown, or whatever your sport be, until you finally get it, a lot of the time when you've got all that emotional baggage and you've been hurt before, you just still can't believe. So I understand if people at home right now are going, this is a bit early for me. I just hope that they believe and they can trust that they can now do that. You know, the next window is going to be a celebration. Get your tickets against Jamaica. You know, watch us on, you know, on the channel here against Costa Rica. It's going to happen. It's inevitable now. And I think that is just so special for all of Canada and everybody who loves the sport, whether you're new to it or whether you've been with us for decades and decades.
Yeah, it hit home too when we were in Edmonton, and one of the founders of the Voyagers, right, which you know is the main supporter group for Canada, didn't make it out to the event. But one of the guys said, you know, he wished he could, but he's that much older now, and he said he's just been so beaten up and beaten down because he remembers going to games, even on home soil, and being outnumbered in the stands. Right? Now you're seeing way more red in the stands for sure. Locks. Let's talk some locks here. Ollie, you got a plane. You've got some carry-on luggage that have the flags of certain countries on them. Who's going?
Yeah, I think this list could be a lot longer than it is, to be honest with you, but I've been very, very cautious and just put on who I think is an absolute stone cold on the plane, no question about it, barring injury. So Milan Borjan, clearly the #1 goalkeeper now. Tajon Buchanan, we'll see what he can do in European football, but there's no question that he'll be there. Jonathan Davids and Alphonso Davies, nothing needs to be said on that one. Stefan Eustaquio, much the same thing. Atiba Hutchinson, I'm sure he will continue to play with that World Cup in mind, and if he wants to be there, he will be there, no question about it. Johnston, I think, is irreplaceable. I think Lorray, you can say the same thing about in terms of their versatility and the way they help Canada defensively. And then Kyle Larin, obviously the top scorer, or now the tied top scorer with Jonathan David in the octagonal. Those are the 9 locks. As I say, you can make a case for a few more, but I'm being a bit cautious at the minute.
You have been cautious. We debated this on our live stream last night a little bit as well, live on YouTube. I like the fact that you're cautious, but for me, if you're going to say, obviously, barring injury, I mean, Stephen Vittori is a lock for me now. He's the captain of this team. He's a massive part of that. Jonathan Osorio is a lock. Mark Anthony Kaye is. Kamal Miller, Maxime Crepeau. I'd throw them all on there right now, to be frank, because you have to understand that when you come to pick this squad, you are remembering these reference points. Competitive games matter. What did you do for that shirt? And yes, there'll be maybe 1 or 2 surprises, and there's a lot of dual nationals out there and a lot of people clamoring for new players to come in, maybe sprinkle that Stardust Flores or Jefferson or something, and they could come in as well. But John Herdman and his staff will be very, very aware of the culture of this group and the way that they connect with each other. And that foundation has been set now, and I expect many of these familiar names to be marking out that squad when it comes to picking the 23.
How long did it take you to figure out to put, under Alphonso Davies' name?
There was a lot of players to, write a little description for, and I thought that one kind of was wasted words to really
You should have
offer
put Twitch sensation, Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, that's it. Alphonso Davies,
Nothing more needs to be said.
No. Well, Canada, 2-0 victors here tonight against El Salvador as they close off this window. One more window to go in March. That's their chance to clinch, to go to Qatar. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And we'll see you next time on Matchday Live.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, red!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're labelless and limitless.